Lost my right arm at the shoulder in a motorcycle wreck just about 6 years ago. You definitely want to be in my riding planes, buses, movies and at dinner. You get more room in both and rests. Score. To answer the ops question, as is usual in life, the answer is, it depends. Sometimes laying on my stump causes my phantom arm pains to get bad. Sometimes it's no big deal. If the day was stress-filled or the weather sucks, my phantom pain increases and that could lead to me not laying on my stump. I don't have an amputated arm but a paralyzed one and felt like you might be interested in my story. As well, my left arm is permanently paralyzed due to an accident 3 years ago. Sleeping with it sucks because when laying on my left side my arm just feels like a foreign object that's poking in my side. Also, as you might, or not, imagine, turning during sleep is awkward as my left arm doesn't just come along, so I have to pick my left arm up in order to turn over. I mostly just lay on my back as any other position is just awkward. I have thought of amputating my arm but have not done it as I feel an arm in a sling will attract less looks as no arm at all. Fun fact. Sometimes my right arm falls asleep when I sleep, so I wake up with 2 arms that can't function. Freaked me out the first time it happened. I'm used to it now. Deleted. Less comfortable. Sleeping on my side just feels weird. Also, the metal from the amputation hits my face and makes it very cold. Mom's an amputee. Lost it at 39. It's been 15 years since. She was a side sleeper, and says she can't sleep on the side with her amputation because it hurts too much. As for sleeping in the other side, it feels weird because her amputated arm just hangs. She forces herself to sleep on her back but never feels rested. Not an amputee, but a rehab doc who has treated hundreds, if not thousands, of amputees. Amputation of a limb is so much more than the absence of a limb. Almost all amputees have some degree of residual limb pain, obviously varying in severity. When you transect a limb, scar tissue forms, bony overgrowth occurs, and nerves form often painful structures known as neuromas. These issues impact their lives in many aspects. Quality of sleep is a huge problem for many as nerve pain tends to be worse at night. The media depiction where your arm is cut off and now it's basically the same thing but shorter is totally fiction. Very few people are better off after an amputation than they were before. Limb amputation is a chronic disease which negatively impacts people in a lot of ways. I often do pre-amputation counseling, and it's amazing how many people falsely believe that their lives will be drastically improved after an elective amputation. As good as our newest prosthetic devices are, nothing beats your native limb if it's still functional. Elective amputation rarely solves the patient's problem, especially if it's pain. Edit. Removed. Got spoiler. Oops. Anyone who wonders where on earth this question came from has likely never been a devoted side sleeper who has woken up many a night in agonizing nerve pain from the arm under your body. I lost my left arm at the shoulder in 2011. Sleeping on my left side is great and weird. My phantom limb hangs down through the bed. Trying to sleep on my right side sucks because now my phantom limb makes it seem like I'm holding my arm up in the air. I dated a congenital left arm amputee, meaning he was born without his arm. And it was really convenient because his arm wouldn't fall asleep when we spooned in bed because there was none. Edit. Cheers for the upvotes in gold, silver. To clarify some of the questions blowing up my inbox, I referred to it as an amputation because he's missing a limb. It's the easiest way to have everyone know what I mean. It's technically a birth defect, not an amputation. When I commented, nobody had really contributed anything relevant and I thought my story was acceptable. Probably the most original question here in years. I have the feeling UP is seriously considering amputation for sleeping purposes. According to some research, sleeping on the right side allows your spine to take its natural position, which is thus more comfortable. However, sleeping on the left, which may also straighten your spine, it was unclear, can constrict your organs depending on their placement, but allow greater blood flow. The left side is also recommended for pregnancy, and sleeping with a pillow between your legs on either side is recommended. Sleeping on your back will take stress off of your organs and lungs, but can weigh down other areas. And sleeping on your stomach can help with acid reflux. I lie on the amputated side to use my phone. Then I get sick of lying on that side and roll over to sleep. When I was a new amputee with lots of phantom limb sensation, it was a total mind trip to lie on that side and feel like that arm was going through the bed. My dad says, it's much more comfortable now since I don't have to worry about an arm falling asleep on me. At first it took some getting used to. His arm was amputated from the armpit down. Extremely comfortable. I have this weird feeling that the people with the fewest arms sleep the best. Also, if you've lost an armature, how do you wash the armpit of the arm you still have? Phantom pain. https en.wikipedia.org/wiki/phantom_pain. It really is a thing to think about and makes Metal Gear Solid, or in the case MGSV, stand out despite its flaws. One of the themes that MGSV touches on is loss, identity, and limbs, and only one way to find out. I'm amazed at this question. Edit. Even more amazed at the puns down below. Hopefully there was no harm done to the amputees with all of these puns. ITT, 2 amputees, 2 friends of amputees, a lot of musing. Ooh, I bet they can spoon like a mother fluffer. Don't have to figure out where to stick that other arm. What if you could just take off your arms and legs and sleep as a nugget? No flipping over every 5 minutes because your arm or leg decides to focus on that nub of blanket that's poking out. Then when you wake up you can crawl to your limbs and they would reattach and you're good to go. Not an arm amputee, but I had my tits removed and stomach sleeping is so much easier. Hello. Just wanted to thank all those people for their great answers as well as everyone else that was commenting. This is my highest up-voted post ever. It's whack. Carrot. Please don't put me on award speech edits, thanks. But now I finally know if sleeping without an arm is more comfortable or not. The biggest downside for people who have had an arm amputated is the inability to pet 2 ducks at the same time. My ex sleeps on the side opposite of her amputated armature. When we were together she would wake up at night freaking out because she couldn't feel her arm, which was amputated. Think ghost limbs. And then get depressed. She said her arm felt like it had just fallen asleep and she had no real feeling there. When the realization hit that her arm had been amputated a year prior, it gets rough. She changed her sleeping habits so that her amputated side wasn't beneath her. We still hang out on occasion and she's feeling much more confident than she did when we were together. Not an amputee but was born without my left forearm. Much prefer sleeping on my left side, and cuddling my BF is great on the left side as I don't have to worry about the awkwardness of where to put my arm while I'm laying my head on his chest. It's alright, I guess. More, less armature. On the flip side, if you only have one leg, there is much more leg room for the source. Has one leg. More comfortable, because I'm not laying on my arm. Not an arm amputee, nor do I sleep on my side. But I have a dog who still has all of his limbs. Hope that answered your question.